So I'm getting a lot of comments, a lot of questions in general about how to set up Paperspace, how does it work, what does it do, where does it live, etc. So I'm going to make a quick little thing on how to set up your own Paperspace server, what it all entails, pricing, estimates, and stuff like that. First thing you need to do is go to paperspace.com and create an account or sign in. When making an account, I will leave my referral code down below, so if you want to use that to help a homie out, I'd appreciate it. Once you are in, you'll see where you have some options here on the side. You want to go to core and machines. I currently have one set up, but in order to make a new machine, you go here and click new machine. Select the server you want to be on. You have Europe, New York, and California. I am on the East Coast and want the best connection for most East Coast players, so I will go to East Coast. Then scroll down and you will have a couple of options. You want to hit public templates and Parsec. I don't think there's too much of a difference between most of these. It just kind of comes with some pre-installed things such as Parsec, Steam. You will then choose your type of payment you wanted to do for your machine and what the quality of the machine you want. You can choose to pay monthly, which is highly unadvised. Instead, I recommend paying hourly. For me, I had to email and request access to one of these, but basically the GPU Plus one is perfect. It'll be able to run most anything that you really want, and it's only 45 cents an hour, which is not bad. Then you'll need to choose your storage. You have various amounts and kind of just pick based on what you need. 100 gigabytes is fine for CF, Tag, and like Guilty Gear, I think, or Granblue, but you'll only be getting like 3 games or 4 games depending on the size of all of them, mainly just because CF is giant. I personally went with 250 gigabytes, so you just showed that as the example. Choose how many machines you really want. You only need one, really. For your network settings, just go default because there's not really other ones. Automatic shutdown schedule, I set this for 1 hour. Basically, this just means if there is as you can see here, enabling automatic shutdown will power off the machine if it is idle or no connections are open. If you are planning to rent one of these out with a friend or anything like that, or if you just forget, it's just quick and easy. Because examples, if you leave it the default for a day, you're getting charged for 24 hours, which is 45 cents, which is math that I'll put on the screen right now. The auto snapshot, I personally did not change this. I did not change public IP. Once you've selected those, you'll see your payment option. It'll give you a prompt to type yours in and whatnot, so yeah. So once you have all that, you'll just hit confirm to create your Paperspace. It will take some time, if I remember right, probably, I think at most a few minutes to get it all set up. When that's finished, you'll see your Parsec machine up and ready. You can go ahead and hit launch on it to get things started. There's a client for Paperspace that you can download that makes it that's just more streamlined. You don't have to go through Chrome or anything. I personally use that, but either one really works, honestly. It will take a few minutes for this to go through. If you're like me, you need to email them to get the GPU Plus machine. Just tell them that I said I was just using it for fighting game Netplay. Now you're here, and it'll pretty much take you to what the default machine will have: Recycle Bin, Battle.net, Epic, Chrome, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, and Parsec down here. Pretty much what you will then do is you can just open up your Google Chrome or Steam or whatever may have you and grab your game. It's super quick to download them for the most part. It will just take a few minutes to get it all set up though. At this point, you should have all your games downloaded or anything you wanted to really play. Then what you will do is you'll open up Parsec, and now you're going to be able to see your dashboard. These are just computers you connect to. You don't care about this. Once you get into Parsec, you'll need to make a second Parsec account. If you want to make things simple, just name it like whatever in server or whatever may have you that you want to call your server between your friends or whatnot if you're sharing. After that, that will be the Parsec account you log into on this device, on the Paperspace device. You'll then open up Parsec on your non-Paperspace computer, being the one that you're seeing the Chrome tab here in. Add the 2 accounts, as for example, for me, it's just say Bojack and Bo server, and then you'll request to connect to the Paperspace machine that you'll see there. Now once you're back into the Paperspace machine, go over to the guest and hit accept. The easiest thing to do from Paperspace is to just click on your account and then just give yourself keyboard and mouse control. This basically means that you can now effectively close out of Paperspace or the Chrome tab, and you will be able to control it from your own Parsec. I personally leave the web client up, but that's up to you if you want to do that. Your friends should be doing this as well. So at this point, from the Paperspace server, you should have yourself, and then your friend connected. And that's pretty much it. The only thing that I would note as well is that for ArcSys games, you want to jiggle your control stick, or really any game, you just want to just start like wiggling that shit the moment you get in. So that way it will recognize, and you can kind of see recognize controller issues from there. There's also some games that will not recognize a controller after boot up, so you'll need to restart the game. If the game is full screen and it is not full screen, it will mess up the resolution a ton, and all you need to do to fix that is just close out of the Paperspace web client or Google Chrome tab, and just fix it back up. I don't know if this is just a me thing, but just so you know, this isn't really a big issue if you're operating it from the Parsec tab. When you're finished your set or done playing with some awful local multiplayer games with your friends, such as like Towerfall for example, you can go over here and just hit Shutdown Machine. And once you see this, it's pretty much all shut down and you're good to go. And that's how you set up. It's just super simple. When I was first setting up, I reached out to some friends who already made their server, and I was really just surprised at how easy it was. Like, there's no runarounds or anything like that, which is fantastic. How does the server work, and how is it better than, say, like standard Netplay? The basic rundown that I can give you is that it's connecting to a server. Think like League of Legends, Dota, stuff like that. There's a dedicated server, meaning that your connection affects you and not the other player. So example is like myself, who has a really laggy connection. For most players, it will not affect their quality. Generally, this will also mean that because it's a dedicated server, it will have like better than, say, peer-to-peer connections in most scenarios, at least in delay-based netcode or ArcSys netcode. This will mean that generally you get better quality matches. And if the server is near you, you get really like low matches. Or just in general. To give as an example, I've mentioned it before, and I think in all of the videos actually, for at least CF. I am in Georgia, my server's in New York. That is a 13-14 hour drive or whatever, and it is 2 frame delay after decoding and stuff. It's super good. How does it work with lag? You've seen it in my sets. Basically, you'll see where like the video quality will start fragmenting, and then it will kind of just come back. It does not freeze like delay-based netcode, and it does not roll back. It instead is just kind of like a bigger punish than those two in a sense, where it doesn't upset the pace of the match for the other player. However, it does affect you. Would I recommend this for casual players or just for general things? Probably not. And that's just gonna be honest. I really enjoy this because I am a competitive player and I compete for tournaments. And I generally like having the best possible quality matches with like friends and stuff like that. So being able to play in a more offline-esque setting, or at least a better online setting, is perfect. Going to costs, what will this look like for like billing? In a monthly setting, you will always, at least for my setting, you will be charged $10 a month. Then you'll be charged 45 cents an hour. The way you could look at it is that depending on how long or what you plan on doing with this server, the pricing won't be super bad, but it can get a little bit more. I have 5 videos up, and I have, I think, 4 unrecorded sessions between me and just some homies wanting to play Grand Blue. And most of those were an hour to an hour and a half. Let's just round up to 11 hours. It's basically cost me $5 in the past 2 weeks. If I keep up that trend and play about 22 hours, 23 hours in a month, that's about $10. So roughly, I'm getting charged $20 a month. You can mediate that cost by sharing the server with a friend, or try to split costs or things like that. It will cost you some money. I look at it, and Flux made this mention of, he looks at it like a Xbox Live subscription, or like, PlayStation Now, or whatever may have you. And the hypothetical is to say that you don't want to spend any more money on PlayStation and that you're just going to transition here. It's worth it if you're planning on playing, if you're planning on at least playing it a few to several times a month. However, if you're a very casual player, if you don't have that much interest in, say, like practicing that hard for competition or things like that, you really don't need to worry about it. You're generally going to have enough practice from general Netplay to where you won't need it. All in all, it's been a great experience for me, and I do recommend it for more competitive players. depending on your region, different services will be better for you, and I don't have all that information right away. What I will recommend is that you do your own research into Google Cloud, Amazon Workspace, I think it's like Microsoft Azure or something like that, and other little services here and there. But generally speaking, those I think are like the main four that I've seen kind of rotate around. And prices will obviously vary. I'm just speaking from my experience with Paperspace and what you should be expecting while using a Paperspace server. And that's gonna wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, leave it a like, do the usual YouTube bullshit. I'll catch y'all around. I'll probably try to record some more sets or whatnot, or there might be some more variety in the content on the channel right now, but yeah. Later.